So yeah, let's begin. So as I said, if you're just joining, my name is Helen, and you'll find me on Instagram at I am Helen Roscoe. That's my handle. And I tend to teach a fairly slow-paced practice, so 30 minutes is quite hard for me to kind of really contain the practice within that window, but I'll do my best. And it's very breath-led as well, so we're going to be really tuning into the breath today in a way that will maybe ultimately help to cool and calm the nervous system as we move through our shapes. Some of what we do will be dynamic, as in moving, and some of what we do will be static and we'll stay and just kind of enjoy the stillness within ourselves. In terms of what you need, I would just say some floor space so that you could move freely. When you move your arms around, that you're not going to be coming into contact with pieces of furniture or lampshades or ornaments, just whatever's there. You'd be surprised. And then you might find it useful if you have yoga equipment to hand, just a block. If you have a brick block, then the brick block's fine as well. If you have a bolster, you could also have that to hand as well. It's not essential. You could also use cushions and folded blankets. And much of what we do, you'll be able to take without any props as well. Okay. All right then, let's get started. So I thought that we would start in a kneeling position today, but if kneeling isn't particularly comfortable for you, then you could come to sit onto your bottom and just let you come into crossed leg or have your legs out in front of you. You could also come and sit onto a chair as well. That's really useful. And because we don't have very long to practice, then the recommendation is really that we kind of get ourselves into this quite quickly. So we'll just find a seat that is comfortable for you, just so that we have enough time to center ourselves. And centering involves just being aware of how we feel physically, bringing ourselves into our practice space and being aware of the environment that we're within. Noticing our connection with the ground, with our perceived earth. If you are lucky to be practicing outdoors, literally that contact with the earth there holding you. Otherwise, we can imagine how that might feel and invite a sense of coolness from the earth, a sense of support. Imagine you are within a sheltered space in the shade, perhaps underneath a tree. And if you are within a room, maybe just, if you haven't done so already, just make sure your windows are open and just see if you can actually feel the coolness of the air coming in and touching your skin. And if that's not possible, then just imagine how that might feel. A coolness of breeze touching the skin and how it kind of enables us to feel a little calmer, especially when we've been exposed to so much sun and so much heat like we have recently. So you're sat or lying or resting underneath a tree, and there is a coolness of breeze and it resonates with your breath. As you connect your external rhythm, your external environment, and the pulse of nature around you, just gradually begin to draw your awareness to your own rhythm, your own pulse on the inside, your inner environment. Noticing your breath. And as you begin to settle into this position, if there are any areas of unnecessary tension, just allow those areas to soften even further and invite some length along your spine. So as you soften through the tensions, invite space as a result of that letting go. Ultimately in yoga, we are making space for something positive to happen. So letting go of those tensions just ultimately allows for space in the spine, perhaps a lighter feeling in the body and in the mind. And deepening your breath cycle As you breathe in, just allowing space around your heart, the rib cage and your abdomen, the back of your body, the sides of your body expand with the breath. And let the coolness of the breath as it enters your nostrils expand on the inside also. So really absorbing this idea of a cool breath on the inhale. And then on the exhale, just lengthening that out breath softly, coming down towards the contact that you have with the earth. And then when you're ready, sigh the breath out. Bring yourself up onto your knees so that your knees are parallel to one another. So we're going to start to incorporate our movement with our breath. Turning your palms to face away. As you breathe in, sweep the arms wide. And then rotate the arms from your shoulders so that the backs of the hands face one another. And then exhale and sweep the arms away and rotate the palms midway so that you end that movement with the palms facing up. Inhale, sweeping the arms wide, rotate through the shoulders, along the arms, the backs of the hands face one another. Exhale and sweep the arms away, turning the palms outwardly. And just taking that once more. And then we'll change that. So turn the palms the other way now, so that the backs of the hands face your body. And then as you breathe in, sweep the arms and rotate them as they go, so that at the end of the inhale, the palms face one another. And then exhale, turn the palms midway through the movement and bring the backs of the hands towards your thighs. And repeating. And just finding that space around your shoulders, along the arms, across your hands, and then also along the side of the body, the front and the back of the body, really grounding through the legs towards the feet. And this time as your hands come down, let them rest beside you and just give your hands a little shake out. Make some fists with your hands and just start to circle the wrists. 2 or 3 times in one direction and then 2 or 3 times the opposite way. Okay, bring yourself down onto the knees, and if this position is particularly stressing the knees here, then staying in a more upright position is also absolutely fine. And the next sort of few movements that we take, we're going to gradually build. We're going to add a little bit each time, so we really take our time to bring ourselves into a downward facing dog. So the next time that you breathe in, come up onto the knees if you aren't already, and then take your arms up towards the sky. And then as you breathe out, bending the knees and lowering the arms, or if you're staying in the upright position, just lower the arms. Breathing in, come back into that shape, the arms expand. This time breathe out and sweep your arms to the lower back as you round your spine over your legs, soften towards the ground. Inhale and rise. Exhale, lower your bottom down and lower your hands to your knees. Inhale, come up again. And then exhale, sweep your hands to your lower back. Inhale and rise, coming upright with the arms. Exhale, so try and maintain that length, reaching forwards with your hands towards the ground. Let your hands lightly touch the ground in front of you. And then inhale and rise again. On the exhale, we come through the forward fold. The hands sweep to the lower back, you round across the back. Inhale, coming up, and then exhale, lower the arms, and we come back to the starting point. Breathing in to rise. Breathing out, folding forwards and down, softening towards the ground, towards the earth. Inhale and lift. Exhale, hinging from your hips, reaching forwards with your arms. Your hands come. This time, let your hands plant themselves onto the ground. And then as you breathe in, come forwards as if you're pushing a ball along the floor with the crown of your head onto all fours. Exhale, tucking your belly in towards the spine, stretching back through the pelvis. Inhale, rise with the arms. Exhale, sweep the arms, forward fold. Inhale to come up, peeling your chest away, reaching towards the sun. Exhale, lower the arms and lower your hips if you're ending in that position. Okay, so we're starting to find a flow. Breathe in to come up. Exhale to fold forwards and down. Inhale and rise, expanding. Exhale, the hands find the ground. Inhale, all fours. This time, we're going to stay here as we exhale, pressing down through the hands and the front of the knees. And then on the inhale, lift the knees a little way off the ground. Stay here as we exhale. Inhale, lower the knees, soften the feet. Exhale, stretch back into that extended child's pose. Inhale, rise the arms. Exhale, sweep the arms. Fold forwards. Inhale, peel the chest away. Lift the arms. Exhale, hands come down. Breathing in to rise. Breathing out and folding deeply. Inhale, peeling the chest away, sweeping the arms. Exhale, forward fold, hands reach out in front of you. Inhale, all fours. Exhale to stay. So we're going to start moving into our down dog in the next phase. The next time you breathe in, tucking the toes under, and then on the exhale, lifting your pelvis back and up, away from your shoulders, almost as if you were drawing a diagonal line from your hands to your pelvis, and your knees are bent. And then as you exhale, you can begin to stretch through the heels, and we'll encourage a little pulse here. So feel free to move your knees, move your legs, your heels, stretching through, maintaining that length along the spine. And then explore a little bit of rotation. So you press your heel in the opposite direction from your toes. So almost like you're pivoting on the balls of your feet and just stretching through in the opposite way. Take a breath in, lower the knees, lift the chest, exhale, stretch back. Breathing in, rise with the arms, exhale, sweep the arms, hands come to lower back. Inhale, extend yourself all the way up, and exhale, lower your hands, lower your seat, and pause there. Turn your palms to face up. Breathing in. Sigh the breath as you exhale. Find your connection with the ground. And then gradually bring yourself up to stand, stretching through the hips towards the sky, and slowly unfurl yourself. Just really gradually bring yourself upright, standing. Your feet are parallel. Just find a new connection with the ground. Breathing in. Welcome a coolness of breath, and breathing out, offer a sigh, soften down through the body, just reaffirm your connection to the ground. stepping your feet wide, and we'll do a little bit of work into warrior pose. So bring the toes in on the left side, turn the toes out on the right side, and bring your hands over the center of your chest. And as you breathe in, expand into warrior two. So you take your arms out at shoulder level and you look along the front arm. That's optional. Otherwise you could keep your head in a more neutral gaze forward. So breath in, takes you in, the breath out, brings you back. And we don't want to put too much into this, okay? So maybe just back off a little bit from what we might normally do, because we don't want to overheat ourselves as we move through this practice. Just really taking our time to explore with the breath our movement. Coming into that warrior position, the next time you breathe in, lift and let your back arm lower down towards your leg behind you, and your top arm extend up towards the sky. And imagine you're reaching up towards the sun whilst you're really grounded down through the legs, through the feet, towards the earth. And then release, come back into warrior and take a breath in. And then on the exhale, in the opposite way. So lower your forearm to your front leg, extend your top arm overhead. And then the next time that you exhale, release that arm onto your lower back. So again, we're not coming into this in a really aligned or precise way. There's a softness that we're going to encourage here. So as you breathe in, just encourage an opening across into your top shoulder, keeping your chest lifted, your spine is long. And as you breathe out, think about the abdomen coming in towards the spine for support and pressing down through your feet, making contact with the earth. And then release. Bring yourself upright. Exhale, lower the arms. Pivot on the feet in the opposite way. Bring your hands in front of your heart, center of your chest, and breathe in, coming into warrior shape. Exhale and bring yourself back. So twice more in this way. Just imagine you're really waking your body up for your day ahead. And if you're taking this in the evening, then maybe not putting quite so much energy into it and thinking it as a wind down practice. So the next time that you breathe in, lift and explore the space behind you. Expand through the side body as you ground through the lower part of your body, lifting and rising, and then grounding and nurturing, and then coming back through into that warrior before you exhale over towards your front leg. Let your arm rest there. Breathe in along the side body. Exhale, hand onto the sacrum, keeping your chest lifted and spacious as you breathe in, as you exhale. You could lower your gaze down towards your bottom foot if you'd like to. Stay there and breathe. And then release the arm. Inhale to come up. Exhale, lower the arms, pivot on the feet so that the toes are parallel. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, folding. So it's like you're hinging from your hips, folding forwards, reaching forwards. And then there'll be a point when that reach, that length, turns into a roundedness along the spine. You soften into your knees. Keep rounding. Crown of your head is shifting in the direction of the ground. You're welcome to release the hands, or you could bring them onto the outer edges of your thighs, or just leave them on your lower back. And pause there as you breathe in. Settle down into your shape as you breathe out. And then slowly begin to, as you stay in that forward fold, walk your feet towards one another so that they're about shoulder distance, and then lower your bottom down. And we'll just take a little rotation through the hips and into the heels, the feet. get a little bit of mobility coming in there around the ankles. Okay, lower your bottom to the floor. Find a block for your bottom and just place that block underneath your seat. Take your legs out in a wide seated position, and then bring your hands into like interlacing the fingers so that the hands turn away, and you take a breath in here, and then as you exhale you start to round, explore the space from one foot to the other. Inhale back to center. So exhale, exploring the space around you. Inhale and bringing it back. Once more in this direction. And then change directions. So exhaling, come forwards and round, inhale and bring it back. And just let your body weight shift from one side to the other. Try not to be too fixed, but apply a little bit of pressure into your heels and maybe think about drawing the toes towards you for just a bit more activation in your legs. Pause there. Bring your left foot in towards your inner thigh. Let your hands just rest onto the thighs for a few moments. Breathing in and breathing out. Place your left hand behind you and breathe in. Extend your right heel away and lift your top arm. And then as you exhale, you cartwheel over to that extended leg. And then as you inhale, reach round in the opposite way, and you could lift your bottom off the block. Exhale and fold around. Inhale and reach back, lifting in the direction of the sun, stretching along the side body, and then release and fold down. Now you're welcome to continue with this dynamically, or you could stay for a breath as you exhale. Just find the ground, find stability in your shape. The abdomen can support you. As you inhale, reach a little further. If that feels safe for you to do so, just finding that length, expanding out in the direction of the sun, and then finally release. Bring yourself over and then come back to center. Stretching out the opposite leg, drawing in the heel towards your thigh. Just pause for a moment so that you feel centered in your shape. Reconnect to your breath. Placing one hand behind you, inhale, lifting through with the opposite arm. Exhale and round over into that side fold over the front leg. We'll do it a few times where you're not coming in quite so far, and also this is where you can stay as well. You don't necessarily have to come into that lift at all with your hips. You're welcome to explore that a little further if you'd like to, by raising the pelvis as you inhale and stretching through. You could also point the front toes away if you'd like to, otherwise you could just keep the foot in a more relaxed position also. And when you feel ready, you could come to stay and expand in your shape, reaching almost as if the sun is at your heart, just radiating out into the space around you. Ground into your shape as you exhale, and then finally release down, taking yourself into that fold. Bring yourself back, your legs out in front of you, bending the knees, feet are on the floor, and just slide yourself forwards over the legs, soften into your neck, your shoulders, and sigh the breath out. Just letting go. Slowly come upright onto the back of your body. and bring your feet onto the floor, fairly close to your bottom. And then bringing the knees in over your belly, and just bring your hands onto the ground beside you. And as you breathe in, just stretching through the heels, pressing through the legs, find length, take the arms back, and on the exhale, lower the arms and bend the knees. And taking this dynamically twice more in this way. And then bring the knees in over your chest, and if you have a block or a bolster, I'll just use a block because then you can see that it doesn't need to be anything specific, but you could have some folded blankets or some cushions, something that's firmer. You could use a book and then place a folded blanket over the top. And we want to bring the base of our spine, the real base of the spine, coming into the sacrum and the top of the pelvis. So it's not our seat, it's higher up than the seat, but it's not coming into the lower back. And you bring the knees in over your belly, so they're quite far in. And as you bring the knees in, you may like to just shift the position of your base there, just so you feel that support coming in for the real base of your spine and the top part of your pelvis. Just bring the arms away. And then you can begin to take your legs up towards the sky. And what I'm going to suggest you do here is really have those knees quite soft, so they're coming in over your belly, just so we have a little bit more support coming in from your core. So the further that the legs are away from you, then the more the core will kick in and the more under strain the back will be. So if we have those knees just in a little bit further over the belly, then the back doesn't need to rely on the core for being in this position as much. And we can actively support the pelvis, support the lower spine by drawing the belly button in towards the spine, just bringing in a little more stability there. And you might find, if your legs are tired, if you've worked hard this week, or you've been running, or you've been on your feet, you might find there's a little bit of resistance there in the legs, that they tremble. We're really focusing on a long and deep inhalation and then a smooth and soft exhalation. At a certain point, you might like to just stretch through a little further, push the heels away, becomes a slightly more active position, but for me that's just a little bit too much for my legs today. My legs are feeling really tired, and then I just want to anchor down through the top of my pelvis there. Just releasing, undoing. This is useful for when you have a build-up of fluid on your feet, for example. It could also help with just slowing your heart rate down, just undoing the effort of the day, but also restoring yourself for the day ahead, or recharging yourself for the day ahead. But slowly just let those knees come in, just let them rest there for a few moments. When you're ready, let your feet come to the ground and just take a supported bridge. Breathing in, expand through the front of your body. Breathing out, just settle and release down into your support, into the ground. Just come back to the cooling quality of your breath cycle. And then when you're ready, just taking those blocks away, or that support underneath your bottom. Bring the knees in over your chest, arms out to the side, and just slowly start to rotate your knees from one side to the other. The inhale brings them center, and the exhale rotates them away. And we'll take this 3 more times on each side. You might find the knees are able to come all the way down. You might not. That's absolutely fine. Just think about having a little bit more support coming in around your core as you go into that and as you come back up, just so that we don't just let the legs flop down. There's a bit of control coming in around your torso for that movement. Okay, so when you've taken that 3 to 4 times on each side, just come and rest onto your back. You may even prefer to rest onto your tummy or on your side. Just find a position that is useful for you, that is comfortable. Let yourself settle through the shoulders towards the ground. Come back to the touch of the breath at your nostrils, following a sense of coolness. Allow that to expand throughout your entire being. And then as you breathe out, just settle down through the back of the body towards the ground. Find the earth and release into that place. Unnecessary tension, any worries, any concerns, just imagine you can let go with that physical release on your exhalation. So as always, I welcome you to stay here for a little longer and just settle down through your shape towards the ground. Coming back to this idea or imagined place of taking refuge from the sun underneath a tree or beside a wall, and just absorbing the coolness of that space. Just releasing down through your joints, your soft tissue, your muscles towards the ground, and then welcoming a sense of coolness and calm into your entire system as you breathe in. And you can stay in this place for as long as you wish. Otherwise, you can gradually just bring yourself up, and we will just bring a close to our practice.